Hello and welcome to the Responsive Family Sleep Podcast. I'm your host, Kim Hawley, holistic sleep coach, lactation consultant, peaceful parenting educator, and mom. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by all the conflicting sleep info, frustrated with sleep information that just plain felt wrong, or searched desperately for a truly gentle and responsive sleep approach, then you are in the right place. In each episode, we'll be answering your most pressing baby and toddler sleep questions, busting those sleep myths, and helping you understand truly developmental, biologically normal baby and toddler sleep, plus encouraging you to trust your intuition along the way. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today we're going to deal with a safety-related question. And that is, when is it okay for your baby to sleep on their tummy? Right? When is stomach sleeping considered safe? I get this question a lot when I'm doing consults with younger babies, right? Especially when babies can roll onto their tummy and we're starting to see them get into that sleep position. Like when is it okay? What do we do? Do we supposed to flip them back every time? What does that look like? So let's talk about that more today, right? So AAP recommends, American Academy of Pediatrics, right, recommends their safe sleep guidelines that we put babies down on their back for every sleep, right? And that works really well when they stay on their back. But what happens when they can roll onto their tummy? The general rule of thumb is when your baby can roll both ways, meaning they can roll onto their tummy and then they can roll back off their tummy to their back. When they can roll both ways and they are on a safe sleep surface, right? So firm, crib, play yard, whatever, mattress, fitted sheet, no extra soft bedding, right? We're following other safe sleep guidelines within this context, right? As soon as they can roll both ways, if they roll onto their tummy, it's considered okay to leave them there. So that's sort of clear cut, right? We want to see that they can independently roll both ways, and that is so that they protect their airway, right? If we get into their tummy, we know that they can get themselves out of that position and they can reposition themselves if their airway is compromised, if they're kind of, compressing their chin to their chest a bit or whatever. So I feel like that is straightforward. What is less straightforward is what happens when your baby can roll to their tummy but not to their back, right? This is tricky. And it's extra tricky because a lot of babies do actually sleep better on their tummies. Like once they get used to the kind of weirdness of being able to roll in their sleep, like a lot of babies sleep better on their tummies. And so a lot of parents are like, yay, they found their tummy and they're sleeping a lot better, but is it safe yet? So technically, if they are not able to roll from tummy to back, and you notice that they're on their tummy, you should flip them. And even once they can roll both ways, technically you're supposed to still put them down on their back so that they are the one that get into that position. I feel like a lot of parents of older babies may or may not feel strongly that they need to follow that. I'm not here to tell you either way. I just, from talking with lots of parents, but the guidelines do still say that you put them down on their back and let them find their tummy. But if they can't roll from tummy to back, you're supposed to roll them back. Now, that's the recommendation. What I have seen is parents get hypervigilant and not be able to sleep because they're like, I'm scared that they're going to roll in their tummy and then I need to roll them back and it's not safe. And well, yes, you are supposed to roll them back if you notice that they are on their tummy. We also need you to sleep. We can't micromanage every movement our baby makes. And so this is where following all the other safe sleep guidelines, making sure you're out of the swaddle, you're in a well-fitting sleep sack or just PJs, depending on, the season and the temperature. We don't have arms swaddled anymore. You're on a safe surface. It's a firm mattress, fitted crib sheet, no gaps, no extra soft stuff, right? Sometimes we just have to accept that there will be a short period of time where you will not catch every time your baby is on their tummy. And everything else is safe. There's such an infinitely small risk there that we just need to accept it, right? Often these babies can push up, they can reposition their head. They just haven't coordinated enough to go from tummy to back. And that's okay, right? Sometimes that's just where babies are at. Or they don't like rolling that way. So maybe we saw it once, but we're not sure they can do it consistently. That's okay. And so, if you have a baby that rolls one way first and then doesn't roll the other way, and that's the order they do it in, even though, often babies do roll from their tummy to their back first, babies all kind of operate on their own timeline. So sometimes we have to be in this gray area, right? What you can do if you are really eager for your baby to be able to roll both ways is play with them. All right, play with them, give them lots of floor time, floor play, free movement, put them down on their tummy for tummy time, put them down on their back, encourage them, move their body, help them reach, help shift their hips, shift their body. Really just encourage those kind of movements that are part of the rolling process and do it playfully. Like there's no pressure here. There's no rush. There's no magical timeline. But if you do a lot of free movement and play, often we can help get that rolling going. Just that little bit of coordination, that little bit of nudge till you're in the spot where you're feeling better about the rolling. There's some great folks on Instagram, like pediatric PTs that post a lot about milestones and a lot about how to play and encourage milestones. And I'm going to put some of those in the show notes. I'm sure there are more. I'm only shouting out a few that I have found professionally and follow. It's not meant to say like anything about anyone else. It just, those are the ones that I'm aware of that post that kind of content. And I think that can be helpful if you're like, how do I nudge my baby into rolling both ways? It can be good to get some inspiration on what that looks like. Because gosh, when my kids were little, I would have been like, you want me to do what? How am I supposed to get them to do that? Because you're tired, right? And it's a new thing. So hopefully that will be helpful and give you some direction. But bottom line is, right, recommendation is that we put them on their back for all sleeps, even once they can roll both ways, right? But if they can roll both ways, it's okay to leave them on their stomach if they roll to their stomach, knowing they can get themselves out of that position. You should always be following safe sleep guidelines around that so they're in a safe sleep environment. If they are not yet rolling both ways and you notice it, turn them over. But please, please don't be so scared of that you aren't sleeping, because that has more potential problems, I would say, than the small risk of your baby being able to roll themselves onto their tummy in an otherwise safe environment. Do give them lots of floor time. Do practice rolling with them playfully. And of course, if they're showing any sense of rolling, get them out of those swaddles, because we don't want them rolling on their tummy, swaddled with their arms in. That does significantly is more risky. So this can be a hard one. It's hard when we fall in the gray areas of safety, but our babies are not little robots. We cannot micromanage everything about their sleep, and so we have to set up the safest environment that we can and follow the guidelines as best we can, and then, kind of apply some common sense and realize that we unfortunately can't, or well, fortunately, it wouldn't be good, can't control everything, right? So I hope this gives you some good guidance, and happy role playing with your littles. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this episode left you feeling more informed, confident, and encouraged on your sleep journey. And just a reminder before you go that nothing in this episode is individualized to your specific sleep situation, nor is it to be taken as medical advice. Take what resonates, ignore what doesn't, and check with your healthcare provider about any medical concerns. Take a moment to subscribe to this podcast so that you'll never miss an episode. And take a moment to rate, review, or share an episode you love on social media. All of that helps parents just like you find me, this podcast, and this gentle and responsive sleep information. I'll see you next time.